The year is 1934. The date is September 8th. The SS Morro Castle, nicknamed the millionaire yacht, is en route from Havana, Cuba to New York City, its regular route, when a series of actions conspired to eventually take the lives of 86 passengers and 49 crewmen, when shockingly the ship went down in flames. The Morro Castle was considered one of the world's safest ships. A new, fast and modern turbo-electric ocean liner whose maiden voyage was the 23rd of August 1930. The Morro Castle was built at a cost of $4 million and was operated by the Ward Line. The ship was luxuriously finished inside and out. It catered for 489 passengers with 240 crew members on hand to provide the ultimate cruise. Sadly, this beautiful ship would only live for 4 years. The Morro Castle's final voyage began in Havana on September 5th, 1934. As the ship sailed parallel to the southeastern coast of the United States, the weather worsened. The ship sailed through gale-force winds and driving rain. On the evening of the 7th, Captain Robert Renison Wilmot ordered dinner to be brought to his quarters. Soon after this, he complained of stomach problems. Shortly after this, he collapsed and died of a heart attack. The command of the ship passed to Chief Officer William Worms. At around 2:50 a.m. on the 8th of September, a fire was discovered in a storage locker in the first-class writing room on B deck. Within 30 minutes, the fire had spread over the entire ship. The fire burned through the ship's main electrical cables, throwing the whole ship into darkness. With no power, no SOS could be radioed, and the ship was out of control. Many passengers became cut off by the fire. The crew made for the forecastle. The passengers tried to escape to the stern. They choked on thick black smoke. It was decision time for some. Jump into the stormy wave-churned sea or burn to death in the fire. Brave crew members fought the fire and launched lifeboats. Although there was plenty of room in the lifeboats, only 85 people, most of them crew members, made it into the boats. Many passengers died because of their life preservers. As they hit the water, many were knocked unconscious and drowned, or broke their necks, or just the impact of hitting the water. As the fire became out of control, Worms tried to steer the ship close to the New Jersey shore. Eventually, the flaming ship ran aground and was abandoned. Efforts by rescuers were slow, but eventually ships arrived on scene. In all, the fire claimed 137 lives. In the inquest that followed the response of the first officer's handling of the ship, the crew's response to the fire, and the delays in calling for help were all criticised. The inquest concluded that efforts by the crew was unorganised. Fire doors left open. The crew were found to make no effort to direct passengers to safety. Lifeboats were filled with crew. They also made no effort in rescuing the stern's passengers. Captain Worms never left his post to check on the fire. All systems failed throughout the ship. There was no effort made to use the emergency steering gear or emergency lighting. Worms, Chief Engineer Abbott and Wardline President Cabot were indicted on various charges relating to the incident, including willful negligence. All three were sent to prison. Eventually, Worms and Abbott's convictions were overturned. Focus in the investigation into the disaster moved to the Chief Radio Officer, George Rogers. He had been hailed a hero, has taken the decision without clear orders to send SOS calls, staying at his post. However, suspicion grew when Rogers was convicted of attempting to murder his police colleague with an incendiary device. His victim was crippled for life, then spent all his remaining days trying to prove that Rogers was the one that set the fire on board the Morro Castle. In 1954, Rogers was convicted for murdering a couple for their money. He died in prison 3.5 years later. The cruise line eventually paid compensation to the victims. No cause for the fire was ever actually identified, but over the years, many reasons and conspiracy theories have been talked about. We may never know the true reasons why this disaster began. Whether it was because of an accident, negligence by the crew, or an act of callous murder by one deranged man. One thing is clear. However this tragedy started, the total negligence and lack of training, discipline, and total disregard for the passengers' safety resulted in a huge number of deaths and lives forever changed. As a result of this disaster, many safety changes have been put in place in all modern cruise ships, so that a terrible disaster such as this will never ever happen again.